Your Excellency President Aliyev, welcome to Leaders Talk.
Thank you.
It's a great honor to have you on the show again. This is the first state visit to China in 6 years. Last time you described bilateral relationship as very good. So if I asked you to use an adjective to describe your trip, bilateral ties, what would you say?
Now I would say they're excellent. Yes, you're right. It's my visit in 6 years. But in the meantime, I had the chance to meet President Xi Jinping on several occasions. And the last time we met was last July on the sidelines of one international event where we adopted a declaration on strategic partnership. So that was a very important milestone in our cooperation because it elevated our relations to a high level. Today, despite the fact that less than 1 year have passed since our last meeting, we signed with President Xi Jinping declaration on comprehensive strategic partnership. So we elevated our relationship even higher. Along with that, 20 more documents have been signed, which cover broad range of areas. So I would say that the relations are excellent, as well as the visit. I'm very satisfied with the results. First, I'm very honored that President Xi Jinping invited to pay a state visit to China. And the atmosphere, hospitality, friendship, and also substance of our discussions was really very encouraging. We elevated our relations on a high level.
Great. Congratulations on that, by
Thank
the
you.
way. Yeah, but did you notice anything different this time? Whether something left an impression on you on a personal level?
Today, during my meetings with Chinese leadership, I underline that every time I come to China, I see development, I see a lot of new infrastructure projects, new buildings, beautiful city. And I congratulated my friends with extraordinary achievement in social and economic development, as well as in activity of China on the international arena. And always coming here is a great pleasure. I've been many times. My first visit to China was in 2005. So I witnessed throughout these 20 years the rapid development and extraordinary transformation of the country. What can be seen, and also what I read about the economic performance and what I get as information, really demonstrates that your country is on the right track. And congratulations with that.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, recently, while participating in an international forum, you actually said that it is very important milestone in bilateral relationship between China and Azerbaijan, because having a strategic partnership format of cooperation with such a great country as China is of extreme importance for us. So I want to ask you a little bit more, now that you have raised this relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership, what specifically will that mean for bilateral ties, and what specifically will that mean for the people of Azerbaijan?
First of all, if you look at the text of the joint declaration on comprehensive strategic partnership, you will see the broad agenda of bilateral relations. Our countries demonstrate solidarity and friendship on the issues of national interests. We strongly support each other's sovereignty and territorial integrity. We strongly support one China policy. And we were among the first countries which publicly and openly denounced the illegal elections in Taiwan. Other part of declaration cover broad range of issues, starting from trade, transportation, people-to-people contacts, humanitarian partnership, and of course our joint initiative. So the substance of this document is very important. So signing a declaration with such a country is really an important achievement for Azerbaijan. I can tell you that Azerbaijan signed declaration on strategic partnership with many countries in our region and also with some European countries, but China is the strongest among them. Wow. So that's why I think the extreme importance of this document once again is obvious.
You and President Xi enjoy very deep rapport. You have met each other on many different occasions. How do you usually interact with each other, and how do you find him as a state leader?
Yeah, we have very friendly relations, and at one meeting he called me a good friend of China. That was a kind of award to me. I always enjoy meeting with him and talking to him in a very sincere and open manner. We spent a lot of time during our negotiations, and then we talked throughout the official lunch. So we covered many areas of regional stability, security, international relations. And for me, always important to know his position when we share some views between us on different issues, because he's a very experienced statesman, person whom I deeply respect, person who has a very deep knowledge and a very firm position with respect to national interests of China and, in general, the way how he treats the global affairs. As you probably know, Azerbaijan joined several initiatives of President Xi Jinping on development, on security, on civilization. So we share his view. We were among the first countries which openly supported and then joined Belt and Road Initiative. We implement a lot of infrastructure projects on our soil. So really, it's always a pleasure to meet with him. And he is a leader of one of the most powerful countries of the world, but he's a very modest person, very friendly, and he creates this atmosphere that you feel yourself interacting with him as with old friend.
That's great to hear. I watched the news today and I heard his original soundbite in meeting with you in the Great Hall of the People, and I was very much impressed by what he mentioned as the original aspirations about the founding of diplomatic ties between the two countries. And with that, we have to talk about your late father, who played a very important role in establishing a friendly and visionary, I would say, relationship with China. Back then, China was yet to take off, let's say, in terms of economic relationship. What would you have told your father, your late father, seeing the changes that you've seen and seeing the level of relationship that this bilateral ties have elevated?
You're absolutely right. He played an important role in building relationship between two countries based on the solid foundation. So when he became president, a visit to China was one of his first, I believe. After 1 year, he visited China.
In the early 1990s.
Yes, it was, I think, 1994. And that was a day when we built those relationships. His legacy is dear for all of us. We follow his path, including in our foreign policy priorities. And among those priorities, China has a special place. Definitely, during the last 20 years, the world has changed. Azerbaijan has changed. But priorities did not change. So I think if he could see from heaven where we are now, I think he would have been proud of Azerbaijan and of Chinese-Azerbaijan relationship.
The Republic of Azerbaijan lies at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, in the eastern part of the South Caucasus. Though landlocked, Azerbaijan has long been a vital hub along the ancient Silk Road, thanks to its strategic location at the intersection of Eastern Europe and Western Asia. Bordering the Caspian Sea, Azerbaijan boasts abundant oil and natural gas reserves. Today, under the leadership of President Ilham Aliyev, the country is seeking a more sustainable path toward development. As one of the earliest supporters and active participants in the Belt and Road Initiative, Azerbaijan's role in the global supply chain continues to grow, bolstered by increasingly well-connected logistics corridors under the BRI framework.
You talk about reform that your father initiated, and you have also started to implement broad-based reforms. Could you report you have done something, that the country has actually moved on from just exporting resources to building industries that are modern, that are green? What could you tell us on that front? And what role has China played in that regard?
Well, example of China and the modernization and the reforms of China are inspiring for many countries. It's a matter how the countries use this experience, how the leaders of different countries can learn from positive experience from other countries. I can tell you that the path of progress of China was inspiring for us. So as far as I'm concerned, my primary objective when I assumed the office was to preserve political and social stability in the country. At that time, country was very poor. And of course, we were a subject of penetration, attempts to influence our policy, interference into our domestic affairs from different Western circles. And in these circumstances, to preserve political stability, security, and safety was task number one, because I clearly realized that without that, we cannot develop. And that was done. Then we started to build strong economy. So today, foreign debt of Azerbaijan is less than 7% of GDP. And our hard currency reserves, they are 14 times more than our foreign debt. So we reduced unemployment, poverty to the level of 5%. We diversified our economy. And also, as you mentioned, green agenda is one of the main priorities. So China is playing a very important role in that, because the solar panels which have been installed in Azerbaijan, they're made in China.
I heard that. You were talking about that, and I'm really happy that green energy is the new field of potential. I want to hear a little bit more. For instance, how do you believe the two countries can unlock greater potential in terms of green energy cooperation, and what tangible improvements is this going to bring to the people of Azerbaijan?
So for the time being, Chinese companies work as contractors with investors, the companies which invest in green energy of Azerbaijan. So far, the contracts which we have signed and which are now in the phase of implementation will give us by 2030 6,500 megawatts of renewable energy. Just for comparison, the total installed capacity of Azerbaijan is 8,000. So in 5 years' time, we will almost double today's capacity of electric energy. 6,000 will be solar and wind. 500 megawatt will be hydro. That will be crucial for us, because we will stop using largely natural gas to produce electricity. We will have electricity from renewables, and we will export natural gas to international market, and of course make a lot of profit. At the same time, we will save energy for domestic needs. We already purchased 160 electric buses, which already
running on the streets of Azerbaijan.
Yes, everybody's happy about that. We contracted 200 more, and most important, this year, hopefully, we will start joint manufacturing of BYD electric buses in Azerbaijan with a capacity of 500 pieces a year. So our plan is to convert Baku public transportation completely to green.
Wow.
And after that, all the other cities of Azerbaijan. So we have a really unique opportunity to work on bilateral track with respect to renewables, because it is in line with our strategy and your agenda.
And today's signing of the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership will give more political impetus for that kind of initiative. You know what, President? We've been talking, and I'm kind of thirsty. And we have the tea right next to it.
I understand what you mean. I understand what
I've been eyeing it for some time, so Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Oh, okay. You have to do cheers. It's a real pleasure. It's the first time I taste Azerbaijan tea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's so beautiful. The cup. I want to.
Yeah,
what is
it's
this?
a national kind of glass.
Yeah.
You know, the form is like, I think, like a peach. So the form actually is to keep the hot, because we usually drink tea very hot.
Very hot. I see.
So that it does not get cold, this form keeps the bottom hot.
I see. It adds to the taste, definitely. It adds.
But
to the
I noticed in China, the tea is served not very hot. Huh? Is that true?
Also very hot.
Also,
Maybe because you're a guest, they don't want to injure you, so they are being very polite and careful. But we share a lot in common in terms of tea. For instance, we all love drinking tea, but with a variation, and that brings us, if I may, to. Many things, you know, the ancient Silk Road, for instance, I can talk about, or we can talk about the people-to-people exchanges, tourism.
Yes.
I understand your country unilaterally exempt visa for Chinese tourists since about a year, and now, during this visit, would you like to share with us the latest news?
yes, the great news that today we signed a totally visa-free regime for every passport, for ordinary passports, and we are very grateful to our Chinese friends that they made the reciprocal step. As you correctly mentioned, last year we unilaterally lifted visas for Chinese citizens. That was first time.
First time for Azerbaijan to do this to a foreign country.
First time unilaterally.
China has had a really special treatment.
Yes, it is true. Yes, exactly. Usually we did it always on bilateral grounds, but in this case we did it unilaterally to demonstrate our friendship and to demonstrate our openness. We also talked today with my colleagues about increasing the number of flights. Today we have, I think, 6 or 7 flights per week, and having in mind that we almost received twice more visitors from China last year after visa regime was abolished, we hope that the number will grow. Today I learned that 150 million Chinese people travel abroad, and in one of my meetings, I said, if only 1% comes to Azerbaijan, that will be enough for us.
That'd be a lot.
Because, of course, we want to develop our tourism sector. We have geographical advantages, Caspian Sea, ski resorts, forests and rivers, and even semi-desert area. So everyone can find a place to enjoy, plus very good cuisine and hospitable people. We just need to present ourselves, to make a country presentation, and of course to eliminate visa regimes with friendly countries. And really it's a historical day today because, and very good news for Azerbaijani citizens, so they can just buy a ticket and come to China.
How about the other way around? How important it is for Azerbaijani or other people traveling via Azerbaijan to come to China, see things for themselves, to come and study, to come and work, right? I actually know a young man who came to China through the Belt and Road summer camp, and he stayed. He's now pursuing a PhD, and he's found a new future for himself. So what about the other way around?
Yes, definitely. We want more Azerbaijanis to come to visit China, to come to study, to work. We discussed actually today also our cooperation in the area of education. We have more than 100 students from both countries studying in our countries.
That's too,
but it
that's
is
too few.
It is too few, yes. Yes. I'm sure their number should grow, especially taking into account the potential in technological development, especially in artificial intelligence, and we want to be in line with the global trend. I think there is a great opportunity to have higher number of students from Azerbaijan coming here, and also I think it will be a good idea to think about Chinese Azerbaijani University in Azerbaijan. So we are now in the phase of evaluation of this opportunity. But definitely, the more people travel, the more they know the culture, the people, the closer ties are between the countries. Because yes, we make political decisions, we are strategic partners, and we are friends as leaders and as governments. But we need people to be closer. Absolutely. And to be also friends.
And not just for people to travel, but for goods as well. And Azerbaijan, well, take another sip. It's really good. And with a little of lemon, I guess, and some sugar, I guess it must be better. By the way, these are from Azerbaijan.
Yes, I know, I know.
Azerbaijani tea and different flavor.
Yes, and mineral water also from Azerbaijan is very good, by the way.
This one?
Yes, yes, it's very good for health. Istisu means it comes from the spring, which is almost
Right, I'm sure the Chinese will be looking into their Taobao or JD accounts and see, can I find it? But yeah, really, I mean, in terms of travel of goods, right, Azerbaijan has stepped up greatly with China. I understand China is one of the top 5 trading partners of Azerbaijan.
Top 4 already.
Top 4. Okay,
already top 4.
It's climbing, and China is the biggest exporter, or the number 1 source of import.
Exactly.
How do you look at the kind of e-commerce under the umbrella of Belt and Road? You know, the infrastructure connectivity, the goods connectivity. What is that going to bring to people and businesses on both sides?
Yeah, that's absolutely important what you say, because really China is number 1 partner on import and number 4 partner on trade turnover. And we opened 6 Azerbaijani trade houses in China. We already started to export wine to China. We want to have more share on your market. And with respect to the Belt and Road, for us, this initiative is not only a kind of a transit route. We want to build businesses en route, because our geographical location is advantageous. We are situated on east-west and north-south transportation corridors. And with respect to connectivity, we built already all infrastructure: railroads, seaports, highways, 8 international airports. We have one of the biggest on global scale air cargo company. So our target is to build business en route, and of course we count on Chinese companies. Less than a week ago at the business forum, there have been different companies from both countries, and they signed investment agreements to Azerbaijan worth more than $300 million. I said today to my colleagues that for us it's a good number, but I think it can be bigger.
Do you have a number in your mind that in 2 years, 5 years?
I want to talk about billions, and I think this is absolutely realistic. So now our target is renewables, transportation, and manufacturing. So we have a skillful labor force. We have a growing population, growing market. So doing business in Azerbaijan from point of view of taxes and different legal requirements is very easy. So a lot of incentives. So I think that we just need to bring sides together and to convey more information about business opportunities of Azerbaijan to Chinese entrepreneurs.
Well, but Azerbaijan, you mentioned, is one of the first countries to publicly support Belt and Road Initiative.
That's true.
And this initiative has entered the 2nd decade, and much more remains to be done. What is your vision going forward?
We already, with our neighbors, established a joint venture to make the passage of cargoes much easier and quicker. Today, for instance, with respect to transportation infrastructure and also administration reforms in our customs, including digitalization, the time for cargoes from China to Black Sea through Azerbaijan is only from 10 to 12 days. Last year, we had 86% growth in transit transportation between China and Azerbaijan. And as I said today, this is only the beginning. Transportation routes through Azerbaijan will be, I think, one of the safest, shortest, and one of the most attractive among other routes which are available today.
I wish you good luck on that, and I believe Chinese business will discern the advantages that Azerbaijan has to offer. Azerbaijan is at a very strategic location, hub between connecting Europe and Asia, yes, and a very important connecting point for Central Asia and Western China as well. So how do you see the advantages and the role that Azerbaijan wants to play in that region? What do you want to do to promote regional peace and prosperity from your country's perspective?
You're absolutely right. We are just between Asia and Europe and between North and South. So both transportation corridors cross Azerbaijan. But to become really an important transit country, you have to have good relations with your neighbors and with the neighbors of your neighbors. That's what we are trying to do, and I think we achieved that.
You talk about neighbors and neighbors of neighbors, which is very important because the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which is a very important regional platform and more country is joining in. Azerbaijan is a dialogue partner. And this year, China is officially assuming the rotating presidency. How do you look at the role of this organization of this kind for the region and possibly for the wider region? And how do you look at the relevance of the Shanghai spirit? And I'm going to articulate here, which means mutual trust, mutual benefit, equality, consultation, respect for the diversity of civilizations, and pursuit of common development.
All what you've mentioned is part of our policy and our agenda. Azerbaijan is a strong supporter of multilateralism. And of course, we want to be closer to Shanghai Cooperation Organization. President Xi Jinping invited me to participate at the summit, so I will be in several months again back to China.
Well, yes. Thank you for letting us know.
Yes, and I think that it will be beneficial for organization and for Azerbaijan if we are closer, because we are on the western side of the Caspian. Mm-hmm. We are at the same time the country of Southern Caucasus, with strong political ties, with transportation infrastructure projects. And as strategic partners with China, of course, I think there are a lot of opportunities to work under umbrella of Shanghai Cooperation Organization.
You're also a member of the Global South, which is a very important force in today's world. How do you look at the potential for China and countries such as Azerbaijan to join hands and work together in international, in multilateral arenas? Because we have, faced with a lot of unilateralism, unilateralist tendencies, let's say. What kind of potential, what kind of roles can we play together?
I think we must be proactive. I think we must continue to be proactive. Azerbaijan is an active member of Global South. We demonstrated it not only in non-alignment movement chairmanship, but also as a president of COP. We are president of COP29, and we held a COP29 conference where I personally strongly defended the interests of Global South and raised the concern of countries of Global South with respect to the existential, to some countries, threat with respect to climate change. And we in Azerbaijan consider China as a leader of Global South. So this is a special role which we think China is playing, uniting countries among particularly those principles of non-aligned movement, so-called Bandung principles. Yes. They actually reflect all what you said, plus sovereignty, territorial integrity, non-interference into internal affairs, right, equality, and multilateralism, and no domination of any country or group of countries. So this is a principle which is very close to us, and we defend it, protecting our national interests and being a very active member of international community.
Thank you so much, President Aliyev.
Thank you.
It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you.
Can I have one more sip of
Yes, one more.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers for a very successful visit.
Thank you.
Thank you.